Hi everyone, welcome back to the girls' room. I am so excited to be filming episode 3. I hope everybody is having a great start to the new year. Me in particular, I'm feeling a bit unhinged, I won't lie.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty.
I started taking this new supplement that's supposed to help with low-level depression. People take it for seasonal depression. And I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but me and my girlfriend are like, wow, this feels really working. We'll see what happens when I start PMSing because that's the real test of time. But I feel like I'm on top of the world. In this weird way, I'm just so happy. Maybe that's because I'm doing things that I want to do and I like to do. Maybe that's why I'm so happy. But I just feel like this supplement is whatever, it's doing its thing. I'm really excited to see what it does for my PMS. And I felt quite unhinged literally this entire week. I have to tell you that I girl bossed so hard 2 days ago. I don't even know if girl boss is the right word, but I just did things I shouldn't have done. Let me explain. So I am not a morning person, categorically not a morning person. You might not know me, but for those that do, they know that mornings are the bane of my existence. My body likes to wake up at 9 a.m., which when I was younger was way later than that, but now, I have things to do and a life to live. But I was feeling so good and so just ready to seize the day. I said, I'm gonna take a 7 a.m. Pilates class. 7 a.m. for me is literally the butt crack of the morning. My friends are probably like, who are you fucking kidding listening to this? Because truly, who was I fucking kidding? I'm unclear. Let me preface this with, this isn't a normal Pilates class. It's like the antithesis of Pilates. I don't even know what antithesis means, so I'm gonna use a different word. It's not what Pilates typically is. Pilates is typically slower paced. It's really hard, but chill at the same time. It's not high impact. I've been going to this studio that they do the whole mic thing. It's blasting music. The room is dark. I don't mind the dark room, but it's a lot. I'm overstimulated when I go there. I bought a 10 class pack because they do these really good deals, which Pilates is criminally expensive. I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but it's $42 a class in New York City. And the packages are insane. They're over $300 a month. Some of them are unlimited, some of them aren't, whatever, you get the point. So this is more of a corporate studio, so they do deals. So before I ever even tried it, they had some Black Friday deal and it came out to $280 for 10 classes, which is a great deal. So I'm let me do this because my gym closed and I need a workout. So I signed up for this Pilates class and then I did it and I was oh, I don't know if this is really for me because of the pace. So I've been going in the afternoon when my brain and body's a little bit more awake and ready. So anyway, let's attack the day. We're doing a 7 a.m. Pilates class. I go to this class and I wake up at 6, which my girlfriend thought she was seeing a fucking ghost in her apartment. She was this is insane. I cannot believe that you are awake at 6 a.m. I'm don't talk to me because I can't talk in the morning. So I make a smoothie because I can't eat anything substantial before this class and it's only an hour away. So I make a smoothie, protein smoothie, and I go to this class. Now, anybody that works out at 7 a.m. and does an intensive class at 7 a.m., those are the real, serious people. They really do that. They work out. I'm not one of them. So this class was insane. I was so angry throughout this class. I somehow got through it. So good job. I got through it and I was not okay. My body had a visceral reaction to not only working out this early, but to also being awake. I mean, visceral reaction. I came home and my girlfriend was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." And we needed to walk the dogs. I was pale. I was in the elevator, like fucking hold the wall because I couldn't stand up. I was so lightheaded. Then I felt like I was gonna puke. And then I had these crazy stomach pains, which was probably from the protein shake, even though I always do that. But I think my body just went into like a shock. I always have a protein smoothie before I go to this class, like an hour before, because I don't want to get sick and I need something in my stomach. But I think with the time that it was, I just put my body into this crazy shock. I was so fucked up. Also, I realized I cursed a lot when I was doing this podcast, but that's a sign of genius. Anyway, I was so fucked up. I walked the dog and I came home. I like couldn't stand. And then I went back to sleep for 2 hours and I woke up and I was off for the entire day. Like off, like not well. So yeah, that was my sign that like I'm not a morning person and I need to start embracing it and accepting it, because I think it's actually like a thing in your DNA, like your internal clock is actually different. You are wired differently when you don't want to be up that early. And that's definitely me. And if that's not a thing, now it is, because I will never do that to myself. So shout out to all the people that get up to work out that early in the morning and beyond, because I know, I mean, my girlfriend goes to the gym at 6 a.m. It's diabolical. I'm not flowing mentally till at least noon. That's when I'm like awake and I feel like I'm at my best and my brain is actually working. So if you're like me, stop fighting it. Just go with it, because some of us are just built different and that's okay. I'm a cozy bear and I love being cozy and snuggly. I wanted to share that because I just thought it was hilarious, and I feel like it will resonate with someone. It's gonna resonate with someone. But anyway, I want to say a huge thank you. And some of you might think I'm Delulu because I'm talking like I have, you know, hundreds of thousands of people like listening and tuning in. I don't, but we're definitely delusional in this bathroom. We're delusional. But regardless, if it's 2 people or 2 million people, I don't care, because the amount of love and support I got when I announced that I was doing this on my Instagram was really, really, really cool. I was terrified to post about this on Instagram. Instagram is so scary. TikTok is like my safe world. I like love TikTok. That's where I feel like, I don't know, the community is better. It's not as intense. Instagram, I think, is also terrifying because it's like all people that you know, and not everybody's on TikTok. I got such amazing comments, DMs, and like actual people searching and listening for the podcast, subscribing, sharing, like sending me amazing messages of encouragement, all people that I know, and people that I don't know, like tuned in because people were sharing it on their stories. And I'm like, what was I so afraid of? I cannot tell you like how scared I was to put this out into the world. And I felt like I needed to do it. I needed to share it so that people know about it, so that hopefully potentially it can be something at some point. But I was just so negative about it, just thinking everyone's just gonna talk shit about me, which I'm sure people did. But when you are met with the positivity, like you don't even think about that, because then you just realize like the people that are in your corner and that are rooting for you, even people I haven't spoke to in years, were reaching out to me, sending me the sweetest messages. I'm so proud of you. Like things like that, that you just don't expect, especially because we are so accustomed to hearing your friends won't support you. Your friends won't, you know, be a part of your business, or just that type of messaging. Your friends will be haters. And listen, I'm sure there are some, but I don't even see them. Like, they're not even blinders. That's like tunnel vision. And I have my people. My friends are always in my corner. They always support me. They always show up for me. I'm super blessed and super lucky. I don't have hater vibes in my circle or around me. And my circle is super small, and the older you get, you will realize that it is definitely quality over quantity. I was the person with 10 million friends, social butterfly, that was out like every night of the week. I was an insane party girl for at least 10 years. And it was the best. I have the best memories, but you start to realize, like, you cultivate these friendships, and then you have your core people, and they should be supportive of you within reason. Obviously, your friends should tell you when you need help or you need advice or whatever. But I got amazing feedback. I'm so happy. Also, like, my girls showed out, but my boys showed out too. I have a good amount of guy friends and I love them so much, but I definitely wasn't like expecting them to listen to my podcast or maybe like be interested, not because they're not interested in what I'm doing, but maybe because the topics and things like that. It's fine. I don't take any of it personal, but my boys really showed out. I got so much love from the men that are in my life as well, which was like incredible. And yeah, it just like is really cool to have an idea in your head and then make it a thing and make it happen and execute it. And I think if I showed myself anything in the last year, like truly coming up on a year now is when I started making all of these changes in my life. It's that A, I can do hard things. That's number one. And B, I can like make shit happen. Truly. I see something and then I see it in my life. Like it's here and then it's here. And that's not like just because I'm manifesting it, which I am in my words and in the way that I go about it, but it's because I'm taking aligned action towards the vision that I have. My vision is so clear, and I think I've learned to stop worrying about the how and just flow, if that makes sense. Like my intuition is gonna lead me the way that I need to go because it always does and it always has. And there was a brief moment where I stopped trusting her and she started yelling at me. I mean, like yelling. The voice in my head is louder than all of you. It's insane. She was yelling at me and pushing me. And I'm so grateful that I have that internal dialogue most of the time. Sometimes it's fucking torture, but I know that I'm gonna get there. And it's crazy because if you look back from where you were, there was a time that you were wishing, for most of you, I'm sure, you were wishing that you have, or that you were wishing that you had what you have now. And I think so much of the journey is like left out and forgotten because we are so focused on this end goal or line. And that line just keeps moving as our goals, as our passions, as our dreams change. It just keeps moving. So the joy is really in the journey and not worrying so much about the how and not worrying about being attached to an idea. Like take away the attachment to what you thought life was going to look like. Take away the attachment of how you thought you were going to get to where you're going. Take all of that out and you somehow get there anyway. You find your way by trusting your gut and your intuition. I started this journey. I knew I wanted to get into content creation. Podcast was like definitely not on the front of my brain. It's definitely something I've always thought was fun and would be cool. I would always say to like my friends, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast. I would say it like that, but it just wasn't in my vision. And then I started doing content creation for brands, which is called UGC. Some of you might know what that is. And that led me into social media management, which is what I do more of now. And then all of a sudden I had this clarity and I was like, I want to start a podcast. I feel like that's like the right forum. Like, I want to be on YouTube. I'm a millennial. I have a space on YouTube. We deserve to be there. And I feel like this is what I mean, like the goal changes. So what I thought I wanted in January 2023 versus where I am in January 2024, I would have never connected the dots or thought that that's what I would be doing, or this is what I would be doing, or that this is where I would go. So detach yourself from the how and just do what feels right, and you'll get where you want to go. I think that manifestation is very real, but I think it's very real with aligned action. And I think taking the steps to go where you want to go is so important. And I'm so proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself too. We need to stop being ashamed of saying that I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. And I don't know where it's going, but I'm like totally open to wherever it's going. My foot fell asleep. I'm open to whatever is coming my way, because the less I worry, the more beautiful things get, and the more the lighter they are. And it's really cool. It's really cool to start seeing this type of growth in yourself. And I wish it for everybody, because if you told me I would feel this way a few years ago, I would think like, yeah, I'm always a pretty positive person, but you know, these things don't happen to me, or this doesn't happen for me, and how did they get there, and blah, blah, blah. People get where they're going by doing things and taking action. I talked about this in the first episode, taking messy action, just doing it. My first episode, my mic was fucked up. I had no idea because I didn't test it, and it was a disaster. And guess what? I posted it anyway. I wore the wrong top because my bathroom's white, and I wore like a cream top. So I was like basically a floating head, and that wasn't what I wanted it to look like. But I could have sat there and been like, oh, this is not perfect. This is not what I want it to look like. So I need to start over and I need to film it again. And I didn't. I just put it out there and people liked it. And then episode 2, it was better. I had more of a flow. My ADHD was a little bit more tamed and in line. And yeah, now I'm way more comfortable, even though it's 3 episodes in. So here's your sign to go do that thing that you've been thinking about doing, that you've been wanting to do, that you've been scared to do. Make that change. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be a career change. It could be like, I don't know, maybe you want to try like, I don't know. I can't think of anything. Maybe you just want to try something. Maybe you want to go on a hike. Maybe you want to work out more. Maybe you want to be outdoors more. Maybe you want to instill a nighttime and morning routine, which I'm struggling with, but you should. Things like that. These little changes and these little steps lead to like huge progress. And I think it's really important. So afraid to post this on my Instagram, which I was having some major imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you feel like you're a fraud, or you don't belong, or the only reason that you are getting to where you want to be is out of luck, and just basically not giving yourself any credit. I think it's like a real thing that a lot of us experience. I had never heard the name of it until very recently, like the last couple years. And imposter syndrome is so real. So, you know, posting that I was starting this podcast and posting the photos that I took of myself and showing myself in this whole different light. Like, I've always been the funny girl, like goofy girl. And I that's totally me. I'm totally fine with that. But then I like took these sexy pictures in a bathtub where I look like I'm naked, but I'm not. And it was in my mom's bathtub. And I took these pictures and I felt like I looked beautiful. And that was scary for me to, I don't know how to explain it. It just was like scary. My therapist said I'm scared for people to like see me. Like I like helping other people and being like outward, but it's scary when it's on me. And it was a really big step for me to like push past that imposter syndrome and just do it anyway. So I feel like a lot of people can resonate with that. Like Instagram is so fucking scary. And I literally composed this post, wrote everything, and scheduled it because I was like, I physically cannot press post. I don't know what is wrong with me. I'm so scared of what people are gonna say. I'm so scared of people sharing this. I'm so scared of people putting this in the group chat. But you know what? If a hater is listening to it, at least I'm getting engagement. I mean, if they're sharing it and making fun of me, it's like, I just have to keep telling myself, it is what it is. I don't care because I got so much overwhelmingly positive love, feedback, all of that. So if you're feeling like this imposter syndrome for whatever you're doing in your life, even if you're like in a job that you really love and for whatever reason you feel like you don't belong there or you feel like you haven't earned your place, I think especially as women, we feel that, especially women in male-dominated spaces. So if you have that type of work, just know that you belong there and you've earned your place, and don't let yourself make you feel any differently or anyone else, because if you feel that about yourself, people they smell it, they sniff it out, and they like know that you're feeling insecure. And I strongly believe that. So push yourself to do something out of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is where you go to die. Don't forget that. I love making myself uncomfortable to an unhealthy degree. I hope that I can chill out this year and find like some chill, like common ground. I don't know if that's the right word, but some stability and less exposure therapy. That's what I called it when I posted it on my Instagram, that I'm in my exposure therapy era, and I have been for like the last year. And that's truly what it was. I was exposing myself to things I wanted to try, seeing what worked, seeing what sticks, like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And now I know like what I like and what I don't like. And guess what? If this doesn't work, I'm gonna try something else. But I feel like this is gonna work. I don't know. I feel like you guys are gonna like it here. And I think this is gonna work. I have like very good vibes. Like I said, my intuition don't lie. All my friends call me a witch, and everybody I've ever dated also calls me a witch. So my intuition is really good, and I've got good feelings. So just like stop being so afraid of failing, and actually stop being afraid of people seeing you try, because that's really what it is. You're scared of people seeing you try new things and then it not work out. And it's honestly less about the failure, because the failure, it happens, but it's that you feel like you're failing in public. That's really what it stems from, at least for me. And I think it can resonate with a lot of people. We don't like for people to see us sweat, to see us try, to see us vulnerable, to see all of these things. And you got to move past that, because if not, you're going to be stuck in whatever position you're in that you might not really like. And that's really shitty, because life is short and it's meant to be lived. And so what if something doesn't work out? A lot of things didn't work out for me. I spent 10 years doing hair and it really didn't work out for me. And I could have sat there saying, and I still do it part-time, which that works for me. I like it in this capacity. But I could sit there saying, I spent 10 years of my life learning, growing, spending all this time cultivating relationships, and I fucking suck and it failed. I know I don't suck. I know I'm talented. I just know that it's not for me anymore, and it didn't work out in the way that I wanted it to. And there was a long time that I was in that place of, I suck, I spent so much time on this. I wasted my time. I'm not even like good and blah, blah, blah. And now, like I said, taking out the attachment to what you thought things would be and leaving room for what things could be that might be like beyond the realm of your thoughts. Because sometimes we can think really big and sometimes we can't see 2 feet in front of us. And sometimes the plan is just so much better than what you imagined, but you've got to take the blockages out. So the things that don't feel right have to go. The things that you know aren't working have to go, and you need to detach from those feelings. And it's a really powerful thing. Since we're on the topic of exposing yourself and letting the world see who you are and how scary it can be, can we talk about Rachel Levis's podcast? I am really, really mad that I gave her a play. I'm not gonna lie, because I was thinking maybe this will be the day that she takes accountability. So if you're not familiar, I'm talking about Rachel from Vanderpump Rules, and I'm not saying Rachel to troll her. She changed her name back to her name. But I'm talking about Rachel from Vanderpump Rules. So she put out a podcast, Rachel Goes Rogue, which, babe, you went rogue. You were rogue already. Like, you've been rogue. You were rogue. 2023 was your rogue year. She came out with this podcast to tell her side of the story, and I was hoping and expecting for something different than we heard on Bethany or whatever we see in on the gossip, like Instagrams and stuff like that. This girl cannot just say, I fucked up, full stop. I take accountability for what I did. And if you're unfamiliar with the situation, basically, which you have to live under a rock if you don't know. Basically, Raquel was sleeping with one of her best friends, longtime life partner. They were together for 10 years, owned a house, Tom and Ariana. So they were sleeping together for 8 months, and it basically all came out right after filming wrapped for their last season. They picked cameras back up. It was really insane. I love Ariana. That was the girl. She was friends with both of them. And it wasn't like a 3-way situation. My only thing is, if you're going to come out with a podcast, she didn't go back for season 11, because she said she didn't feel like she'd be able to tell her story because producers would paint it as a different thing. Fine, understandable. It's reality TV. That probably would happen. But how different can you paint the picture? What you did was completely fucked and out of line. So I'm not sure what picture she thinks they're going to paint that's worse than what she actually did to one of her best friends. And every single interview, clip, anything you ever hear, there actually, I don't think has ever been an I'm sorry, I fucked up and I shouldn't have done it. Not once. It's just blaming. At one point they were both blaming Ariana, which is actually insane. It's just insanely bizarre to me. The podcast should have started, I fucked up and I'm taking accountability for what I did, full stop. We've heard everything that you said already. We've heard how Tom, and I definitely think that he's a piece of shit, and that I definitely can see how he can be manipulative. I'm sure that there was a factor there because she's not the strongest minded person, and she doesn't know who she is. She's in her 20s, but you're in your 20s. You're an adult. I understand there's things going on there that, you need to work on. But when you're hurting other people in the process, you need to just own that. For a year now, almost exactly a year, I think it was in March when everything came out, people have been yelling at you to take accountability, and you still can't seem to do that. So I'm not going to give that too much light on this episode because there's enough of that floating around in the world, and I don't need to add to it that much, but that's like really being bold and showing your ass, and like choosing to continue showing your ass in this like light that's not great. You're painting your picture in a way that's not good. So I don't know. I feel like she should have just went back for season 11 and done it that way. I think it would have been more impactful. Now she's just like telling the same story over and over, and the same excuses and all of that stuff without actually just taking ownership for her behavior. I think like there needs to be more conversation around the hurt that you also caused other people while talking about the hurt that you were in. Hurt people, like we know that. And that's definitely what was going on there. She did it for months. Like, you can't call it a mistake when it was going on for 8 months. It was an active choice and decision to continue seeing your best friend's life partner and making this entire situation, it was just a mess, and it should have stopped. And if it didn't stop, or well, it stopped now, it should have stopped, but at a minimum there should be an apology. Not that Ariana wants or needs it, but she is deserved that respect. But talk about losing dead weight and then thriving, because my girl is killing it. She's on Broadway, she got her cocktail book, she got Dancing with the Stars, which she got robbed on because she should have at least been in the top 2. She was incredible. Like, you drop the dead weight, you drop the blockage in your life, which quite literally could be the person you sleep next to every night and you don't even realize it until they're fucking your best friend. You drop that blockage and watch life become beautiful. And that is like literally what happened to Ariana. She dropped him, like, she was out, and her life, all the things she's ever dreamed of doing, being on stage, doing all these amazing things, are literally her reality. And I'm so excited for season 11. It's airing at the end of this month, and I can't wait to see the picking up of the pieces, because I don't think I've ever seen a comeback game like this. Imagine doing that to your partner and thinking, because he's a manipulator, so thinking that you are going to spin this to be in your favor. Because the whole season he was painting this picture that she's crazy, that she would end her own life if he left her, that she refused to let him leave. He was like dropping these like turds, I'll call them because it's him, these turds of information that I felt like he was setting her up to look like this crazy person, so that if he did break up with her at the end of the season and then all of a sudden be in a relationship with Raquel, it would make Ariana look crazy. And that backfired so fucking hard on him. And it was like watching karma in real time. Live action karma was happening. And honestly, that's amazing, because that's how it should be, because she didn't deserve anything that came at her. No relationship is perfect, but you know, things happen, and all don't always handle things in the best way that we can. But I'm so happy that she is on this major glow up. She's got a new boyfriend. She looks so happy. She's traveling. She's doing everything she's ever dreamed of. So if you ever need an example to either drop the dead weight in your life, whether that's a friend, a partner, whatever, a job, whatever it is, drop that blockage and make way for what's to come, because you have to make space for the things to come or they won't have anywhere to go. So let's learn from Ariana, queen of the comeback. Speaking of Bravo topics, I obviously have to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion.
Where's Meredith Marks when I need her?
The rumors, the nastiness, the rumors, the nastiness. You want me to go there with her husband? I can go there.
If you don't watch Real Housewives, I just need you to do it. Do it. Salt Lake City is really easy because there's only, I think this is the 3rd or 4th, maybe the 4th season. So it's not that much, and you don't have to watch like 13 years of TV unless you want to. And The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was so insane. This reunion was mental. But let's talk about the looks, because the tans were unruly. Like, Andy Cohen, who did your spray tan? Or I don't know if it was spray tan. I don't know if it was the lighting. I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it's that everything is in 4K these days and I can just see everything. But his spray tan was orange and blotchy. Like, his forehead was like white and orange. Like, it was like orange here and then white here. Maybe I could put a picture in if I find one. It wasn't cute. I don't know what was going on. Like, they didn't do testing or something, because that wasn't it. Whitney Rose, fire whoever like okayed this look. Whoever said that this look was okay and did your hair like that. Whitney is so pretty. Like, she always looks good. I always love her hair. It's always in a cute style. She's gorgeous. She has nice clothes. This outfit was like really odd to me. She had like 17 necklaces on that were tangled up within each other. I was just like, what is happening with this ponytail? I just couldn't understand what was going on. I was so distracted by it, like the whole episode. I was just so distracted and I didn't understand. I just didn't understand. Like, I don't even have words. The woman is gorgeous. I mean, they're all beautiful, but like, what? I'm confused. Meredith just didn't do her hair that day. Another person who always looks great on the show. She even looks great when she like wears like diamond masks on her face. Like, I need to put a picture of that too, because you might not know what I mean. But Meredith always looks great. Like, she always has her hair, even if it's just sleek and blown out, it looks great. Really confused. It's reunion day. Like, aren't we supposed to show out on reunion day? Very confused by that. I guess I'm really talking about the looks right now before the real tea, because the looks were a lot for me. Like, Lisa always looks amazing. I love Lisa Barlow. She looked incredible. The spray tan. She always has a spray tan, but like, this was insane. Her hands were like, like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, but she looked beautiful. Heather looked amazing. I thought Heather looked really, really great at this reunion. Angie K, I'm an Angie K stan. Don't care what you think about her. I fucking love her. And I thought she looked beautiful. Hair, makeup, everything. All of their tans were a little bit like unruly and unhinged, but they looked good. Those girls looked good. And Monica. Monica looked beautiful. I mean, I think her boobs looked like they were maybe gonna explode, but she looked beautiful. But wow, if you don't know what I'm talking about, imagine that you're one of your friends in your circle, not a new friend or not an old friend, but like a newer friend in your circle that you're taking a liking to, but you feel like they are a little bit, what's the word? Like, you're cautious. Like, you feel like there could be something up with them because they're a little bit crazy, but you feel bad for them because of like circumstances in their life and things that they've shared with you. So you have like this soft spot. And then you find out that they are behind a Finsta that's dedicated to bashing you and putting out like stories about you. Now, obviously we're not famous, so like whatever, but imagine one of your friends did that. And then there was like this Instagram that was sharing all this information about you that was either secret or that nobody knew or whatever. They were just shitting on you on this fake Instagram. And then lo and behold, they're literally sitting right next to you at dinner. When that came out, it was crazy. People are saying it topped Vanderpump. To me, it didn't. It would have topped it more if she was one of the girls that have been there for all these years, that have been friends. Like, if it was like Meredith, which she was trying to imply it was. And then on top of that, she tries to set up one of the other girls to be like the person behind it, which is so fucked. And then after, she has like 100 excuses as to like why she did it, not taking ownership and accountability, like only slightly doing it. Now she's blaming other things that have happened in her life. Like, she's got a reason and an excuse for fucking everything, let me tell you. And it's fucked up. It's actually weird because now things are coming out that and there's proof, like the other people that were involved in this fake Instagram. I'm trying to like let you know what it is if you don't watch, because it's still juicy and crazy to hear. But there's proof from her ex-best friend, because they did this Instagram. Apparently there was more than just her. It was a few people. They would go sit outside of one of the other cast members' homes, like leaking stuff, like kind of like stalker behavior. And it's like not fun. Like, to me, Housewives drama should be fun and on the lighter side. Like, there could be tea. There should always be tea. But like, this was next level. It was like cringy. Like, I just felt like, ew. Like, this is like deranged fan behavior is like really what it's giving me. Like a deranged stalker fan infiltrated and got herself on the couch next to Andy Cohen. Which is also like, wow, you really talk about aligned action and getting yourself somewhere. You really got where you were set out to go. You got yourself there. But yeah, I don't know. It's giving deranged. It's giving creep stalker vibe. It's giving me a lot of things that would make me feel uneasy. Imagine finding out someone was like staking out your fucking home like a Fed. It's just weird. I don't know. I'm not into that. I had to talk about that for a second because I know that my girls in the girls' room are talking about it. So let's talk about it together. Speaking of like Housewives, but not really, I just wanted to touch on this trending topic because I keep seeing it everywhere and it's making me laugh. The Mobwife aesthetic. Apparently clean girl makeup and all of that is out and the Mobwife aesthetic is in. This is hilarious because you know we're gonna have like girls from like fucking Wisconsin dressing like they're from Staten Island. If you're from the Bronx, if you're from the boroughs, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, Mobwife aesthetic was always in, and you either got it or you don't. You either wear leopard and faux fur and chain smoke and wear red lipstick and have a side piece and a husband, or you don't. Like, you either give Carmela Soprano or you don't. So please, if you are into the Mobwife aesthetic, you just know that it actually has nothing to do with what you're wearing. That's just an addition. It's an essence. Like, it's an essence. You know, think about the Mobwives. That was a great show. Rip Big Ange.
Oh, you gotta see this one. He just came home from jail, 28 years he did.
Well, that's good.
For murder.
That don't make him a bad guy that he did that. But
He's buying me a puppy.
They have an air about them. And honestly, we don't talk enough about the Mobwives. Like, not even just the ones from the show, like the Mobwives in real life, like the women that were in this life. Those are some badass women. So I am here for the Mobwife aesthetic and the clean girl aesthetic to be out. I don't have the Mobwife aesthetic. I'm just only from the Bronx. And I'm not Italian, but I'm really here for it. And these trends on TikTok are so funny because they really dictate the year. Like, clean girl took over. Everybody was like in a ballerina bun with a ribbon in their hair and doing no makeup. And now everybody's going to be gaudy as fuck. And I think it's going to be hilarious. Anyway, so that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, comment, leave me feedback, whatever you feel like you want to tell me. I am open to it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll be back next week. Just a note, I dropped the first 2 episodes on a Thursday last time, but I am changing the drop date. It will come out every Sunday. It just gives me more time to edit and give you some really fun, high quality visuals, which is important to me. So if you want someone to hang out with while you're doing your Sunday routine, whatever that looks like, whether it's going for a walk or rotting on the couch, I'm here for it. I did create an email. It's it's TGRPOD.NYC@gmail.com. And if you guys want to send in topics, questions, if you need relationship advice or advice about anything, I think it would be so fun to have that kind of segment on here where you can send it in anonymously if you want. I think it would just be really fun and a different way to connect and involve the audience. and bring you really into my bathroom and help you figure out whatever situation you need help with, or if there's anything specific you want me to talk about. And it doesn't need to be serious, but it can be anything from personal growth to pop culture, all the things in between. I'm so excited to hear from you. So that's TGRPOD.NYC@gmail.com. And thank you for tuning in for another episode of The Girls Room with Clarissa. I am having many technical difficulties right now, so I need to sign off, and I will see you next week, and hopefully all my devices will stop attacking me. So I hope everybody has a great week ahead. I hope everyone had a great weekend, and thanks for tuning into The Girls Room. Love you. Bye.
You can